Hey, Adam Burt here, and I'm joined by Ben Joy. We're going to play some Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair. This is by Playtonic Games. I have got the controller in my hand, and yeah, this is nothing like Banjo-Kazooi, which is it's the game that inspired. Yooka-Laylee is a franchise heavily inspired by Banjo-Kazooie, made by Playtonic. The first game was funded on Kickstarter, I believe, and this is now the second game in the series. And what you can see here is I play as Yooka-Laylee, the lizard with the bat. Am I right in thinking, Ben, that the lizard is Yooka and the bat is Laylee?
If I remember rightly, yes, I think that is the way.
I brought you on the show because you're the Yooka-Laylee fan. You don't even know who they are.
I only played the original again the other week, so I should know that. I mean, bearing in mind it's Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo was on the ground. I'm pretty sure it's Yooka that's on the ground. Not that it's Banjo-Kazooie. Not that it's Banjo-Kazooie 3 or anything.
So this game has some interesting mechanics, which is why I thought we would play it. Essentially, when the game starts, you're introduced to Queen Phoebe, who is here. She has the Royal Bee-tallion. I've been prepared for bee puns because there's a lot of them in this video.
Nice.
And this is the Royal Stingdom, which is her land full of bees. Capital B is a bad guy. He's got the Hive Mind, which is a mind control device. The writers had a great time with this.
Yeah.
And basically he's got an impossible lair, which you can actually play at any time. So up here, I could go into this. That's the impossible lair. And the point is, it's a level that's so difficult, you can only complete it if you can rescue the Bee-tallion, because the Bee-tallion fly around you like a shield, and each bee takes a single hit. So if I was to try that now, I would be completely destroyed. Instead, using this overworld, which you can kind of explore and find these hidden book portal things, we're going to go and rescue some bees. We're going to restore the Bee-tallion, and and then we'll see how we go on.
Nice.
The overworld has some interesting kind of mechanics where you kind of have to almost puzzle-esque, I would say. Like, you have to find these levels. This is the beginning of the game, so this one's just sat there. But later on, there's bits where you have to, change the environment a bit. Like, you have to divert some water, and then you can see something that was underwater before, and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, the original game focused on puzzles as well. Like you could solve things, and then that would make the worlds bigger. So I guess they've carried on that theme here.
Yeah. So this is Chapter 1, Capital Causeway, and you'll see when we get into this, but the levels that you actually play through, in this one at least, which is slightly different to the first one, all the levels, once you delve into them, are two-dimensional, or 2.5-dimensional, you might say.
Yeah.
They have a kind of 3D look, but they definitely take place on a 2D plane. There we go. So I've got a roll mechanic to open doors and stuff, and the game's immediately frozen.
Yep. I was thinking that maybe that was just for me, but
no, we're back. We're back, and I can do a little tail whip.
Yeah, so in the original game, you learn moves as you go. You don't have everything off the bat. I'm assuming that that's going to be similar in this game. You'll pick up more moves as you go.
Whoa, okay.
That's very fast moving.
There you go.
There you go. You do a twirl jump. Very nice.
RB to pick up and throw an object, eh?
I guess you can pick that up. Or not. Did you play much Banjo-Kazooie back in the day?
No, not really. Never really been my thing.
Missed out.
That's why I brought you on the show to tell me what's
up. I was a big Banjo-Kazooie fan. Me and my brother played it for hours upon hours upon hours on the Nintendo 64, and then bought the arcade version on the Xbox. Played some Banjo-Kazooie nuts and bolts. One game we never had Banjo-Tooie actually, which was the actual follow-up to Banjo-Kazooie.
Did you think that Yooka-Laylee scratches that Banjo-Kazooie itch before you
It does, yeah. I mean, for and it's not a slight at all, but for all intents and purposes, to me it feels like Banjo-Kazooie 3. It's very much a Banjo-Kazooie themed game. The characters are similar, and like I said, that's by no means a slight. Creating a game that is like one of my favourite games of all time is definitely a compliment. So I think, and in the Kickstarter, I think they leaned very heavily on that it was going to be made by the creators of Banjo-Kazooie. So clearly people got behind that, and they raised a ton of money to make the game, and it was successful, so they made another.
You might have seen there as I was running around, you can lose Laylee, the bat. She can, basically when you get hit the first time, she runs away. But you can get her back by catching her or by reaching one of those bells that'll bring her back to you.
So you're currently playing this on Game Pass, right?
Yep, this is available on Game Pass, I believe, both for console and PC. This is the PC version, but I'm playing with an Xbox controller. Hey, secrets.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to give this a whirl on Game Pass on PC. I've got the original Yooka-Laylee on Switch, which I alluded to earlier, that I was playing the other week. Again, my brother got that for me a few years ago. So yeah, I definitely recommend checking that one out as well, especially if you were a fan of Banjo-Kazooie. I think you'll definitely enjoy it. It's right up there with it. How are you finding the learning curve with this? It seems like you're going pretty okay so far.
It's pretty good. We've unlocked our first member of the Bee-tallion.
Nice.
I don't know how many bees there are, but I feel like there's like a lot of bees.
I feel like there'll be a lot. One of the things in the previous game is there is a lot to do. It doesn't feel like a lightweight game. Pick it up, do it in a few hours. I don't know whether that's just because I'm bad at games and it takes me a long time, but it definitely feels like they build the worlds out to be very, very extensive. And it was cool. We had a rocket jump a few years back, and we had Steve Malpass do a talk. It's a very popular video on our YouTube channel, and he was talking about level design and touching on some of the stuff he'd done in Banjo-Tooie, and it's very in-depth stuff. So, and I don't think he worked on this game, but it's clear that kind of mentality of really rich world building and level design has been brought into these games, which just makes them so fun to play.
Yeah, and I think just from a game design point of view, I think it's really interesting mechanic that you can just, the end of the game's right there. You can just play it right now. I mean, if you were really, really good at the game, you could beat this. I don't know if you could beat it the first time, but you could beat it pretty soon. Whereas most of us will obviously have to spend some time exploring and find more bees.
I'd probably spend like 300 hours finding all the bees, be as super powered as I can, and probably fail immediately anyway.
Oh, this bird's got something to say.
That's not Kazooie, is it?
Okay, so this kind of shows off some of the mechanics that you have. You can move crates around, which you can use to...
I guess you drop it in there to climb up?
Well, you can push it into that place, and I think you can climb up on it if you get high enough. I don't seem to be able to do that in a minute, but I'm sure I'll be able to at some point. Also got this over here. Don't know what that even is.
Can you move it?
No, there's no handle on it.
Okay.
And yeah, the open world has levers, switches, which change things, opens doors, etc. And yeah, this is Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair. Well worth checking out if you have Game Pass. Some interesting ideas and very solid platforming. If you like platformers, it's a very good one to try. Thanks very much for joining me, Ben, and we'll throw back to the studio and back to the live show. See you guys soon. Bye.
See ya.